Welcome to Charter Local Edition Northwest. I'm Natalie Hurd, your host for today's interview. A special thanks to the Medford Chamber of Commerce for allowing us to record here today. My guest today is Ashland Councilmember Steph Seffinger. Steph, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
So you have been involved in, action for climate change in your role at the Ashland City Council. Can you tell me a little bit about your Climate Change Action Committee?
Sure. We just in 2015 had an ad hoc group to develop a plan for climate change in Ashland. And it actually was just adopted by the City Council. Ashland has, for many years, worked with this issue, but this plan is a lot more comprehensive than plans we've had in the past. And it's trying to accomplish goals that are similar to what was established internationally at the Paris Agreement, which is to try to hold climate to less of an increase each year. Mm-hmm. So we've kind of set goals for what the city can do in terms of city procedures and policies, and also looking at what people can do.
It's great to see this being tackled at the local level. You don't often hear, councils passing resolutions like this in local cities. And so tell me a little bit about what some of those actionable items are for the city of Ashland.
Well, one of the things that we're trying to do is we're trying to do something called, by the year 2020, producing 10% of our energy locally. That will be a big challenge. That means looking at solar energy and possibly wind energy and other types of, any type of, maybe even some water power energy. Mm-hmm. We do have a dam that produces a little of that. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the actions. Another action is looking at our transportation system and trying to make the town more bike-friendly and more walkable, and trying to also look at what kind of public transportation is possible.
What has the response been so far? Because this is something City Council can't do this alone. It would take buy-in.
It can't. It really has to be something that the entire community makes an effort to work with, because it involves not only the city operations and trying to make city operations more efficient and use electrical power versus and gas engines in their cars and vehicles, as well as the city trying to reduce its use of different sources that produce carbon, things like driving, and also when people use electrical resources, like when you do your washing. Mm-hmm. If you do it at night versus during the day, for example, or activities like you need to go to the grocery store and you need to go to the department store or whatever, trying to have those trips coordinated so you're doing less driving. Mm-hmm. Water conservation.
That's a big one, especially as we approach the summer.
It is. There are a lot of different ways to try to reduce your water use in terms of drip irrigation systems and the type of plants you use, and also things like running your shower and using shower heads that are more efficient. Our city even gives those out to people.
Good, that's great to know. Why are all these seemingly small efforts so important?
Well, it's all cumulative. I mean, it's not something that there's just one action you can take. It's going to require a lot of different smaller actions. And I think that's important, because if people feel like there aren't little things they can do to impact this, they'll kind of give up and say, well, it's going to be impossible to do this. So, so finding small things that people can do is really important. I recently talked to some high school students, and high school students and younger people have been really involved in this because it's their future.
Right.
You
That's
know,
great.
this isn't going to affect my future as much as it would affect their future.
Yep, very good.
So a lot of it is really caring about who's to come, and not just the human part of the world. Also, this affects our forests. This affects our environment. So it's very important for that as well.
Seffinger, City Councilwoman for the City of Ashland, thank you so much for being here today. I'm Natalie Hurd, and this is Charter Local Edition Northwest.